Now, here are some photos you sent to our Eyewitness portal. Let's begin with this photo showing the latest state of the Okoko-Maiko axis of the Lagos-Badagry Expressway, which is under construction. Our Eyewitness reporter is calling on the state government to do something about it. Still in Lagos State is this photo from Idoani community showing a faulty transformer. Our Eyewitness reporter says that there's been no power outage. There has been power outage, rather, all through this Yuletide because the responsible agency refused to power the new transformer acquired by the community. It's calling on the Ikeja Electricity Distribution Company to fix this. Our final picture shows the state of the Udo-Ufomana Road in Edo State. Our Eyewitness reporter says that the contract was awarded by the federal government over 5 years ago, but is yet to be completed. He's calling on the state government to intervene. We do sincerely thank you for sending in these pictures, as we ask that you keep them coming. Ogun State Governor Abeokuta has called for peaceful campaigns as the 2019 general elections approaches. He was speaking during the flag-off of the campaign for the Ogun Central Senatorial seat. Governor Amosun also canvassed support for President Muhammadu Buhari.
Jubilation for a man whose popularity in Ogun State appears to be affirmed here. Governor Abeokuta might be vacating his office in 2019, but he's seeking the people's blessings as he declares his intention to represent them as a senator. The governor does not forget to remind them to extend their support for President Muhammadu Buhari.
My good people of Ogun Central Senatorial District, I seek to be your eyes and ears at the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Let me assure you that I will use this position to continue to develop our senatorial district and also support President Muhammadu Buhari in his untiring efforts at developing Nigeria, a task that he has started to the admiration of all well-meaning Nigerians.
Emissaries of the Alaki of Igbaland have come with a message of endorsement for the governor.
Our governor is man of history.
Each supporter that mounts the stage has the same message. Vote for Abeokuta.
Senator Abeokuta, the governor, he has served the state very well. He is the first among equals. We have done it in 2019, in 2015, we are here to do it again. He's going to represent us at the Senate seat in Ogun Central. I'm now employing every news anchor in Ogun Central that you should support him. We, the Igbo community in the States, are solidly behind him.
Come 2019, the hope is that the next time this crowd gathers, it will probably to congratulate him on his victory at the polls.
Despite criticisms trailing the performance of the presidency in 2018, the All Progressives Congress-led government insists it has delivered on its electoral promises to the people. The government, through the military, stepped up operations to address security challenges in various parts of the country and also stepped up activities of its social investment programs. In continuation of our review of major sectors of the nation for the year, State House correspondent Ibrahim Adra takes a look at the presidency in 2018.
The year 2018 opened with tales of wars. From Rivers to Benue and other states, several lives of Nigerians were cut short. The anguish and fear was palpable. The violence spread to other parts of the north-central states, with bandits on rampage in Zamfara. It was a challenge for the government. By mid-year, the killings in Benue reduced significantly, and the fight taking to the bandits in Zamfara and elsewhere. The Metele incidents in the northeast, however, saw Boko Haram killing several soldiers, prompting experts to call for a new approach.
I have not taken time to conduct proper conflict analysis.
President Buhari convened a meeting with leaders of the Lake Chad Basin with a view to end insurgency once and for all.
The time has come for the evil of Boko Haram to be brought to a definitive end.
The economy, which grew in third quarter, is said to be a factor that fuels insecurity.
Poverty, unemployment is also a condition for insecurity.
You saw the slowdown which culminated in recession. It took 5-6 years. And then why do you think that a year after coming out of recession, the impact will be felt everywhere? The impact will be felt eventually, but it's going to build.
One of government's strategy is reaching out to Nigerians at the grassroots. The Trader Money Scheme and other initiatives are part of the social intervention program. The government received recommendations of a minimum wage of 30,000 naira, and there is no agreement on that as yet.
I am accordingly setting up a high-powered technical committee to advise on ways of funding an increase in the minimum wage and the attendant wage adjustments without having to resort to additional borrowings.
Figures from the National Bureau of Statistics reveal unemployment has risen to 23.1%. This has generated interest. The fight against corruption saw the president engaging youth of the continent. The anti-graft agency, EFCC, is reporting successes. However, one of the tools for control of government revenue, TSA, and the IPPIS is said not to be foolproof according to ICPC. The president signed the Executive Order 6, believed to potentially improve the administration's fight against corruption and assets recovery. The president received some heads of government, including Angela Merkel, Theresa May, Emmanuel Macron, and Prince Charles. He also traveled to the UN, Commonwealth, Paris, and only recently to Poland.
If you say all the work is at home and you refuse to go out, it's not balanced. It's both. See what we're doing with China today. It all started because the president went to China as far back as April 2016.
The Federal Executive Council gave approval for various infrastructure projects. On the water, sanitation and hygiene sector, the president is worried that 46% of water schemes in the country are non-functional, among other reasons.
It is also my singular honor to formally declare a state of emergency on Nigeria's water supply, sanitation and hygiene sector.
On appointments, there are some government agencies whose board are yet to be inaugurated.
Some of those important economic agencies up to today do not have boards. They are taking decisions that should have been taken by organizations that have a board to create the momentum.
In all, 2018 means different things to different people as far as the presidency is concerned.
While there may exist contrary opinions, the APC-led government is confident it has kept its side of the bargain in spite of several challenges. From Abuja, Ibrahim Adra, Channels Television News.
Well, to further assess the activities of the presidency in 2018, we are now being joined live from our Abuja studios by a former Attorney General of Borno State, Mr. Mohammed Monguno. I want to thank you so much indeed for joining us on the News at Town. The president set out to tackle three major things: corruption, insecurity, and reposition the economy. How would you assess him in those areas to date?
Thank you, Gimba, for having me. It's an honor to be here. The three pillars on which this government came into office, fighting corruption, eliminating insecurity, particularly the insurgency in the northeast, as well as repositioning the economy of Nigeria. Let me start with the issue of insurgency in the northeast. When the president came into power, a lot of people were displaced. Many had to leave their homes. And then over 50,000 children are presently orphaned. and food security was under attack. Social organization and settings were in stormy weathers, and the military was lacking the tools and equipment with which to confront the insurgency. Now we have definitely gotten to the top of the situation. Before the president was inaugurated, Boko Haram was literally within the city of Maiduguri. Killings and bombings were taking place on a daily basis. Now we are out of the woods in that respect for now, but it's not yet over. I think the presidency as well as the military needs to focus attention on deep intelligence gathering. I think in the absence of that, we saw the recent upsurge leading to the attack on the road between Damaturu and Maiduguri, leading to the death of some soldiers and police officer. We also saw the ambush in Melete, where we lost a number of patriotic soldiers. Now, for those of us in Borno, Yobe, and the rest of the Northeast, we should have to thank the recent effort put into the fight against insurgency. And we are also happy that if we don't get it right at this moment, we cannot get it. Those at the helm of affairs fighting the insurgency are virtually from the Northeast, virtually from Borno. We have the National Security Advisor from Borno. The Chief of Army Staff is from Borno. The Chief of Air Staff is also from Bauchi, who lived most of his life, military life, in Maiduguri. I think there is also a need to look at our porous borders and then try to determine whether the past efforts to demarcate our boundary has something to do with this present insurgency. We, by virtue of the International Court of Justice decision over Bakassi and the land boundary, we have not yet completed a greater portion of the demarcation exercise, particularly in southern Mubi, where some substantial part of Cameroonian lands were awarded to Nigeria by the courts.
If you let me comment, if you let me just butt in here, my apologies, if you just let me butt in. Yeah. The president has said that the system has made him not to move as fast as expected in the fight against corruption. What's your take on that? Is that true?
To some extent. I recall the challenges. Nuhu Ribadu had mentioned that over $440 billion were stolen by officials in Nigeria between 1960 to 1999. So these enormous challenges, and then the way and manner to fight revolves around correcting the system, particularly official corruption. And then in addition to that, we had a slow pace of litigation, and then the judiciary was able to get it right by promulgation of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, which has, in a way, increased the pace of trials. But then EFCC also and other agencies also need to particularly go into forensic prosecution of cases. Now, there is no point in bringing 40, 50, 60 charges when one can do the job with 1 or 2 witnesses. And then sometimes, because of this, cases are delayed, witnesses could not be able to come and testify in court. And then by the time you bring them, they have lost track of the type of evidence that needs to be brought before the court. So the system, yes, to some extent, but then I do not agree that the system is the main impediment to the fight against corruption. Thank you.
That's a good place to let it rest. I must indeed thank you for talking to us, the former Attorney General of Borno State, Mr. Mohammed Monguno.